Hey guys, it's New Fire, back with part 2 on how to achieve financial freedom. So, if you guys remember, in part 1, I went over what financial freedom is, and now I'll tell you how to achieve it. So, without further ado, let's dive back into it. So, after I learned what financial freedom was, I went back to ask my dad about how one would achieve it. He told me you need to have four things: attitude, income, investment, and consistency and patience. So, first, we'll cover attitude. So imagine you're walking down a street and you see a decrepit house for sale. It's old, worn, and infested with bugs. How would you react? Most people would react with disgust and not consider buying the house. But there's an opportunity here. If the house is old, worn, and infested, likely it'll be sold at a considerably lower price than, say, any other house in better condition, because there would be little to no demand for this house. And if things are in your favor, you could renovate and fix up the house, thereby increasing the value and earning a profit on paper. So, after hearing this, what attitude would you think is necessary for success? Of course, there's never a guarantee that things will go your way, but your chances would increase if you develop an attitude open to recognizing opportunity and taking risks. Many people, including myself, would initially view this house as a problem. It's old, disgusting, and not at all worth anyone's time. But if you're that one person who views it as not as a problem but as an opportunity, it might turn out well for you. There's a popular adage that goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. However, after knowing all this, you can and will make mistakes on your journey. That's important to know. And it's okay too. Don't get scared when you make mistakes, but rather learn from your mistakes, and rather than blaming yourself or others, continue to persist because it will pay off. Being open minded, listening to ideas, and striving to learn more and explore is another attitude you need to cultivate to be successful in your journey. My dad told me a story about a man who years ago was talking with his friend one day when the friend told the man that he bought a Tesla car. The man had never heard about this and after hearing more about the car, went and researched about the company and saw an opportunity to invest in a company that he believed would surely reach the skies. He ended up investing 1 million and has earned over 10 times his investment. Obviously, it's not easy for just anyone to gather 1 million to invest anywhere, but the important thing to learn here is to keep your eyes and ears constantly peeled to discover new opportunities. You never know when you'll find the right one. So, what we learned here is that you need to develop, in summary, three qualities. 1. Opportunity versus problem. 2. Learning from mistakes. And 3. Being open-minded and ready to explore. Now that we've covered the first one, we'll talk about income. There are two types of income: active income and passive income. Active income is typically earned through employment or when you offer services in exchange for payment. Passive income typically deals with investments or any other source of income where you're not actively engaged in it, hence the term passive. To have an active income, meaning to be employed, you need to have a job, which typically requires some sort of skill set. The most important thing is to develop a skill. This can be anything that fills a need, such as driving, programming, plumbing, etc. Skills and jobs evolve with time. For example, many people make a living through social media in some shape or form, something that didn't exist 10 or even 20 years ago. When buying a house with an active income, you'll have to save for years to be able to buy one. However, if you have already had a passive income, a small amount of money invested a few years ago would grow and in the present time allow you to buy a house much faster rather than having to save up for years. Speaking of passive income, now we'll talk about investment, our third quality. Before we talk about investing, a vital aspect of it is learning how to save money. It doesn't matter whether you earn $100 or $1,000, you have to save at least 25% of it. If you earn $100, after Uncle Sam takes his share, split the remaining money in half. Set aside that money for bills, etc., and then split the remaining money in half once more. Set aside half of that for your future, and you can do what you wish with the remaining fourth. Keeping your saved money in the bank is hardly going to get you anything extra, so what people do if they want good returns is to invest in the stock market. I'll make another video on how to invest your money, so look out for that. Lastly, but not least, in order to achieve all these, you need to exercise consistency and patience. Remember that all of this isn't just a 2-week challenge, it's a lifestyle. Keeping a positive attitude, earning income, and investing is something you do consistently on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis. It's okay to let loose sometimes. You can't always be laser focused on saving all the time, but until you reach a level of financial status that works for you, you need to practice a consistent lifestyle. In order to be consistent, you need patience. It won't be a smooth uphill journey. There will be tough moments when you lose some, sometimes small, sometimes big. But if you're patient and consistent with your actions, it may turn out better for you. So, after hearing all this, what do you think is the right thing to do? And whatever you do, remember, it's always better to start out early. You always have to start early. Can't start later. So now that we've covered all that, be sure to look out for my next videos. This is New Fire, signing out.